All right, guys, Cubby and Jim here with our Marvel Entertainment News. It was really energetic. It's actually not that crazy.
Actually, it's a slow week.
It's kind of a slow week. Spider-Man came out.
Yep.
Beat not the previous Spider-Man Raimi trilogy. No, it did beat the Raimi trilogy, and it like slaughtered its first one. But it didn't beat X-Men, which is a completely different franchise. I don't know why these numbers really matter, but it made like $94 million.
Yeah, which is funny because it's like I can understand when they compare Marvel to Marvel within the Disney, but it's like, okay, this is Sony and Fox that you're comparing. That
you're getting Spider-Man, which is one character, and then the X-Men is like six awesome characters. Like people have like those as their favorites. It's like Storm and Cyclops. You have all these other people that you want to see.
It's like Titanic outperformed Spider-Man.
Oh, one thing that was really interesting is this was a 3-day opener, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Spider-Man 1, or Amazing Spider-Man 1, was, it opened on a Tuesday. So it had like a 5 or 6 day gap to make all that, and it made $55 million, and this one made $94 in 3 days. That's kind of cool. I guess people like Spider-Man more, but either way, I still haven't seen it, and there's some spoiler stuff I don't want to talk about, and we're not going to talk about it because that's messed up. Pretty much ruins the movie, and someone ruined the movie for me at work, and I really hate them. They don't watch this, but I want them to watch this because I fucking hate them. Either way, in the movie, apparently, this was other news, they kind of like give the clues for the Sinister Six. If you Shazam the movie, the song at the end of the credits, it sends you to some website and kind of gives you like the rundown.
Bobby goes over in this review.
So check out Bobby's review.
Bobby's review. Bobby's review as I'm being informed right now. I didn't see it. I still haven't seen it. Whatever.
I've got 2 kids. I won't see it for another year.
Either way.
Yeah.
That sucks for you. In other Marvel Entertainment news, it seems that Andrew Garfield and Mark Webb are probably not going to be coming back after Amazing Spider-Man 3. So it kind of raises the question as to what would happen. I don't know. Yeah. And truthfully, at this point, I don't even give a crap.
Well, that's the funny thing is it's like, okay, all right, they're already saying that. They already dispelled, there was that rumor about Miles being the new Spider-Man, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, but you have to kill Peter Parker, and that, to me, within 4 movies is way too much.
Maybe you missed the 90s. You could have a clone.
But that's another thing that they said. There's another thing that they said, that the time that they tried to change it from Peter Parker to someone else, they almost killed the character completely in terms of popularity. No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
the Scarlet Spider was way cooler than Spider-Man at that time because of this. It sucked.
Either way.
The Scarlet Spider was the clone, by the way, at the
time. But, yeah. So we don't know what's going on. Do we really care? Personally, I don't, because A, I haven't seen Spider-Man 2. And B, it's like 15 years from now. Like, who cares? Just let it happen.
That is the funny part, that Sony is planning Sinister Six and all these things beyond
it's just so that way they can keep the rights to that
I agree,
Spider-Man.
but it just cracks me up that Sony's planning this, but they're like, no, we're not going to do that. So, I think it's going to be James Bond.
The only thing I hope for is that it's good, because if it's not at Marvel and they can't do awesome, cool crossovers between all these people, like eventually, then just do a good job, because it's not yours. It's Marvel's. Marvel should be in charge of Spider-Man movies. The next reboot should be a Marvel one. Like,
it won't happen.
It won't, not for the longest time.
Once it stops making money, which...
But that's at the same time, they might just reboot it at the end of 4, or at the end of 3 or whatever. And either way, I'm stressed out about Spider-Man now. In other comic-related news, no, you go.
There were Spider-Man spoilers we refuse to talk about. There's X-Men spoilers we refuse to talk about.
Because I have to see it in like 2 weeks. Why am I going to ruin the movie for myself?
I don't know why you're arguing with me. I'm like, that's fine.
I'm arguing with you because
put him down there.
You want to do it. Okay, all right, fine. We're not talking about it. In other Marvel Entertainment news, there was a bunch of
Tim
stuff.
Blake Nelson
is
the Fantastic Four.
He is going to be the character that becomes the Mole Man. I forgot his name. All I can think of is Samuel Stearns. And what's funny is that's the last character he played that's supposed to become a villain. And guess what movie that was in? Incredible Hulk.
Well, that's what I love, is that we see these Marvel characters that are important the actors being reused in other Marvel movies. I love that. Chris Evans being the other big
Well,
one.
but I think it's funny. Chris Evans is like the opposite of this guy. Whereas Chris Evans was like, well, I played Johnny Storm over here, but now I'm playing Captain America. It's like trading up.
But it's
and
also
this guy,
to get uber nerdy. He went Marvel movie to a Fantastic Four movie. Chris Evans went Fantastic Four movie to a Marvel.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like he traded up in terms of like character. Johnny Storm being a cool guy, great character, but like Captain America, that's like the inspiration for everyone. That's like Superman of the Marvel universe. So it's pretty sweet. But this guy, he's going from being the leader, the Hulk's like smartest villain, to the Mole Man, which is like
I'm still
not the smartest villain, to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So,
but since that never materialized, I would have loved to have seen that, but it didn't materialize.
How do we know though? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sorry, the Ed Norton, that storyline, Ed Norton's version.
But the Hulk is still there. Those things were referenced. It wasn't like that never happened.
But I think they're going to try and distance themselves from that movie and that storyline just because it wasn't successful. That's my guess.
I mean, technically, it is within the canon of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I agree.
There is a huge thing that happens there. Thunderbolt Ross, we don't know what's going to happen with that. I mean, Nick Fury was there. Or no, he wasn't there. Tony Stark was there. My bad. But either way, I want to see what happens with that. I feel like that movie is still kind of has a part in it.
I love that movie.
Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait till Avengers 2 because that's when all the Hulk and Hawkeye threads get picked up. So I'm really stoked. Hawkeye. Okay. In other news,
Wolverine.
Yes.
They were talking about this is going to be Hugh Jackman's last Wolverine, which we've talked about before, and him and James Mangold are discussing potentially Old Man Logan, which I'm excited that we could potentially see that as a film, but as Cubby brought up earlier,
you need Hawkeye, you need Spider-Man, you need the Avengers, you need Hulk, the Hulk family, the Hulk gang. You need so many aspects of the Marvel Universe because that story takes place in the Wolverine comic books, is centered around Wolverine, but it's like an Elseworld tale or something like that, centered around really the Marvel Universe.
And Fox does not own any of that.
They own X-Force and stuff like that, and they can't really form that story around it. I mean, you need this fucking Spider-Mobile. Like,
I can only imagine the characters will supplant it.
Exactly. So hopefully Bobby's idea where it takes 20 years for Disney to finally buy out all the rights for every character that they need to, superhero movie dies, and then boom, revival with Old Man Logan. I wish that happens for reals, because he put that idea in my head and now I can't get it out of my head. So, yeah. And then there was one more thing that we needed to talk about.
Is it Joe Quesada? Came out dissing DC?
Yeah, I guess, but like, he just talked crap about Man of Steel because he thought, Zod could just kill Superman right now. It's like, well, it's not a dramatic movie. It just ends right away.
So movie of the Happy Village idiots that don't know.
Whatever. I still don't like Joe Quesada for a lot of things, so I'm not even going to go there.
We've talked about this before. He brought Marvel back from the brink of bankruptcy, and that was not easy.
And then he destroyed Spider-Man's life.
Everybody.
Again.
I think you have to be a great Marvel writer by destroying Spider-Man. I mean, every Spider-Man's always disrespected.
The great Spider-Man writer at that point left the company because he was forced to write a story he didn't want to write because Joe Quesada wanted Mary Jane and Peter Parker to be divorced. And he was like, I don't want to do that. And they're like, all right, well, you got to do it because it's your contract. And he went, peace, I'm going to go write at DC. He wrote the best Thor story ever.
I agree. I lived through Maximum Clonage, which was, to me, one of the worst decisions done to Spider-Man and Peter Parker. And I basically gave up on reading Spider-Man at that point. It just wasn't worth it.
I gave up on reading Spider-Man after one more day. I still haven't read Spider-Man. I haven't read
him since Maximum Clonage.
I tried to during Brand New Day, and it was like, okay, this is whatever, 3 times a month. Okay, whatever. No bueno. Anyways, that's my 2 cents.
The last one real quick was the Avengers video game.
Oh, yeah, this was actually a really big one. Yeah. A lot of people were kind of bugging the Marvel execs. I forgot who exactly it was, but kind of bugging the people about why there isn't an Avengers video game. And they kind of said, well, the Captain America game didn't really get well received. And a lot of other times that they've tried to do that wasn't really like the business. And if they were going to do an Avengers game, it has to follow 3 criteria, which is fun, engaging, wants you to get to play it. It has to be actually competitive, and it has to just be the right time. So awesome. Thank you. Don't just put it out there to make money. Like the fact that they want to do it right.
Good call.
Totally stoked. And Disney has LucasArts, or like the people that were at LucasArts, so they can totally make an awesome game. Do it eventually when it's right. That's all the Marvel news this week.
Yep.
So let us know what you guys think about all this awesome stuff, and we'll catch you on the flip side.